Let's do a quick update. All right, here's what everyone out there should do. You get your beer done, you bottle it, you let it sit in the bottle 2 weeks. You want to try it, right? Of course you do. You try it. Take a 6-pack back, put it in the closet where you're going to forget about it, come back to it and try it in 6 months. You may have a recipe that is perfect. It just hasn't aged long enough. Your recipe could be perfect. It just hasn't aged long enough. And if you come by 6 months later, it might be perfect. No beer's going to spoil in under a year. Have a second tasting at 6 months. Wow. That is a complex flavor. It is really hard, as Laura said earlier, it is really hard to pull just the malt out of this. When we did our 2-week tasting, it wasn't hard at all. It has definitely become a more complex beer in those 5.5 months.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's hard. Out of 4, just the malt.
Sweet.
Very sweet. I very much like that.
Wow.
The balance is there. The balance is just so there.
And it's so complex. It's amazing.
It is. Would it get a?
Laura's head just exploded.
Would it get a 4 or would it get a?
Well, see, I'm thinking the whole thing right now, but I'm trying to decipher the one, and it's very nice. Just the one flavor.
I would give it probably a 3 or a 4.
Yeah.
What you
3.
think? 3.
3.
I mean, it's amazing complexity, but is it amazing good?
Right.
Right. So we're going to give it a 3 and move on to just the hops. I actually like these, and this is out of 4. So the bitter,
Stout.
herbal, grassy flavor.
I like the hops. The stouts are usually so bitter, and this really isn't.
What is going on there?
Now, this was actually made out of, I don't even remember which recipe this is. This was an extract beer, and I'm doing all grains now. This was an extract beer, and it was made from a kit, which could have legitimately had something along the lines of molasses in it, and I think it did. That's another reason I don't like kits. I have to buy the same kit. Someone else made half of this beer.
Yeah. You don't know what's in it.
I just topped it off. I don't know what's in it.
I just topped it off.
And I would say there's definitely molasses in it.
Oh, for sure.
But I don't know how much.
Wait,
and that's why I need to all
this?
grain.
This is Irish
I
stout?
know it's an extract.
No, I mean Irish stout. Is it the porter? The first one we made?
It could be.
Huh. I don't know.
Oh, not the very first one.
Oh, okay. So it is an Irish stout. Okay.
So what about just the hops out of 4?
There's just enough.
I like it. I
There's
actually
just
do.
enough.
Again, I'd
It's
call it a
good.
3.
You call it a 3?
Yeah.
3? Alright, we're going to give it 3 for hops. Balance is always a big deal. It's out of 5. Does anybody say it shouldn't be 5?
No. 5.
That balance was just there. That balance was
Yeah,
really
go ahead.
there.
I mean, if it's not perfect, it's really close.
Yeah.
Give it a 5.
Agreed.
Alright, conditioning carbon. See, there's all sorts of things. Okay, so we're still in flavor. We did malt out of 4, hops out of 5, balance out of 5, conditioning carbonation out of 3. So this is the mouthfeel.
Yeah.
Now I will say this has actually gotten better. When I first brewed this, it was very soda pop-esque. It has gotten smoother, but it has not gotten to the velvety smoothness that an Irish stout should have.
It doesn't feel like it has enough carbonation.
I agree.
And maybe that's why
Now I feel like it's almost dead.
It's gone from drinking a Coke to drinking a flat Coke.
Yep.
Yeah. Essentially.
Out of 3, what would we give it? It's definitely going to be a 1 or a 2.
Yeah.
1?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, now aftertaste out of 3. I like the aftertaste. You swallow it and you feel in the back of your mouth brown sugar or maybe just molasses.
It's the molasses.
And I think it's the molasses. I like that taste.
There's a very, very mild bitter. But it's very mild.
And that would be the hops. And I like just a tad of that mild bitter to counteract the sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
So it's pretty good on that front.
And it's only out of 3. Should we give it the full 3, though?
For aftertaste?
Aftertaste only? I would go ahead and
Aftertaste,
do
yeah.
that.
Okay. I'm going to give it the full 3 then. It's a very complex, and that's what you want for an aftertaste, I think. You want a very complex aftertaste. All right, let's do 3, 6, 9, 10, 15. Easy math, I like that. All right, 15 out of 20. All right, let's look at body as appropriate for style out of 5. Don't think about the carbonation. Think about, is it thick enough? When I drink it, do I feel like it's watered down? Do I feel like I'm drinking motor oil? I mean, is it thick enough? Is it too thick? And remember, as a I do actually. I'm like, I'm freaking. That wasn't really funny. Anyway, let's move on. Drink it.
Yeah.
I drank it. I thought it was pretty appropriate for the style.
I don't.
But I want.
It's a little light.
I completely disagree.
I want to stress real quick. There is a huge difference between an IPA and a stout. And a stout should feel thick on your tongue.
It's like you're eating it.
Not an IPA. An IPA should feel smooth and watery.
Yeah. This one tastes a little watery.
Yeah, I don't really like the body.
Like, it's not like completely watery like an IPA, but it's not a stout.
You know, I was carried away talking. I think that body's not right.
No.
Is it?
No, it's good, but it's not there.
You know what I would say? I would say it would be appropriate for an Irish red, but not an Irish stout. And we're making a stout. Now, what would we give it out of 5? I want to go down to 1. I would give it
not
2.
that bad. It's not that bad. It's close.
3.
It's close. It's like a 3.
3 out of 5.
That sounds good to me.
I'll go for that.
We're going to give it a 3. One more. Overall impression out of 10 points. Oh, that wasn't bad.
7.
A bit of chocolate.
A little bit of chocolate? Just a tad of chocolate. And
and you put...
I love that molasses.
Did you put chocolate malt in this?
I think I did. I love that molasses taste.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Oh, what would I give it? See, my problem is I always go back to school and I'm like, well, 80%'s a C. That's average.
Nah.
And you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. You want to think an average beer is 50. 50% good. So if it's 60%, you're still giving it a good rating. You're saying it's better than most beer. If you're giving it 60%, you're saying it's better than most beers on the market.
7.
7.
I would give it a 7.
Agreed.
I really think that
it's a decent beer.
if I had 10 beers, this would fall about top 4, top 3 or 4.
It's decent.
I give it a 7.
7.
Let's give it a 7 and count our categories. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 8 and 5 is 13. What are you talking about?
7 and 3%.
Oh, geez, confused me. Now I lost my place. Thanks a lot.
Fellers.
Fowlers.
Well, what was this 3?
Get rid of it. It doesn't exist.
See, they threw me out. I had it figured out. Then they started saying 10,
10.
X.
It's definitely not 38.
Yeah. So this is 10 plus 15.
So that's 20.
30.
Right?
Right.
And then another 5
It'll
is
be
30.
53.
No, another 5 is 30, and another 8 is 38.
If you add 13, 15, 28, and 10,
No,
8, 5.
that's 52.
no,
Which doesn't make sense.
honey, it's 8, 5, 15, 3, and 7.
Oh, okay. So you're not adding these numbers.
I had it right the first time. Alright, just in case this doesn't get edited, I was right.
Because never right.
Alright, and now that we have tabulated the scores, this had 38 out of 50. I go to my handy game dandy scoring guide.
Handy dandy.
38 is...
Hey!
Hey!
It's a very good beer.
Very good. It's between 30 and 39. We were good.
Hey,
Yeah.
good.
So this last beer I made was a very good beer. And you know, when you drink it and you think about it, how did I like this compared to that last one you tried? You'd say that too. You'd say this is a very good beer, and the last one you say, it's good, but those hops were all messed up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Agreed.
So, you know, here, you made a very good beer, which means you could remake this beer, but you really want to go for excellent.
Did you see that? There's a 1.
Yeah, you can go right to that
And
one.
then there's a 1 down here.
There's a couple ones. Head retention, always a
That's
problem.
the nice part about this one. You can find exactly what your problem area is.
And carbonation.
Yep.
So I can go back and say, all right, where were my ones?
And that's so...
How do I get the head retention taken care of? And how do I make those bubbles smoother? Now, if there are extract brewers out there, I'm sorry, but I cannot answer that question for you. Because when it comes to Irish stouts, you really want that smooth, velvety feel. And I could never get it with extract brews. But the first time I did an all grain, I had it. I actually got a 50 out of 50 and a 20 out of 20 on those two scales.
It was amazing.
But I think I don't know how I got that, because I don't know. But when I used an all grain method, I got that velvety bubbles, that velvety mouthfeel that I couldn't get before.
And the body, too. The body was perfect.
And the body was right. This body was a little on the light side.
Yes.
But the body was thick, and it comes from
It was
brewing those
so
grains.
thick. It was like
It was
Jello thick.
It was good, but Jello in a good way.
Jello beer.
Drinking Jello in a good way,
Like Jello beer.
like Jello beer.
Delicious.
And jigglers, beerlers, it doesn't have the same ring.
Let's not make beer.
Bye.
Anyway, thank you again for joining, and we'll be back next week with something completely different. Happy brewing.